Imagine waking up one morning to a headline that sounds more like a scene from a science fiction novel than a news story. Elon Musk, the man who redefined electric vehicles, space exploration, and even how we communicate through satellites, has just unveiled a prototype that nobody saw coming so soon. A flying Tesla car. Not a sketch, not a CGI rendering, not just a distant dream, but an actual working prototype that reportedly left those who witnessed it stunned, speechless, and questioning what the future of transportation might look like. For years, the idea of flying cars has been treated as a joke by skeptics and as an impossible dream by enthusiasts. We've seen flying cars in movies like Back to the Future or The Fifth Element, but the idea that you and I could one day order a flying car through an app or drive one to work has always seemed far away. Elon Musk, however, has never been the type of person to wait for permission from reality before bending it. When he first spoke about reusable rockets, experts laughed. When he hinted at building tunnels under cities to solve traffic, people called him crazy. When Tesla was on the verge of collapse, critics predicted bankruptcy. And yet, time after time, he has proved that what seems impossible today could be a reality tomorrow. The flying Tesla prototype was revealed in a private demonstration that quickly leaked onto social media. At first, many thought it was a hoax. The sleek Tesla chassis, modified with vertical takeoff thrusters, slowly lifted off the ground, hovered several meters in the air, and then glided forward with a smoothness that made even the harshest critics pause. This wasn't just a drone with a car body attached. This was something entirely different. A carefully engineered blend of electric vehicle technology, aerospace design, and AI-powered stability control systems. It was unmistakably Tesla, but it was also something we've never seen before. Elon Musk has often said that the future of humanity lies in rethinking how we move. He has already challenged ground transportation with Tesla's electric cars, the skies with SpaceX, and underground travel with the Boring Company. A flying car fits perfectly into that vision. For Musk, this isn't about making a flashy gadget to impress the world. It's about solving real-world problems. Traffic congestion has become unbearable in many cities around the world. People waste hours stuck in gridlock, burning fuel, and losing time they could have spent living. A car that can rise above the streets and glide over congestion changes everything. The prototype itself was built on the foundation of Tesla's Plaid powertrain, but heavily modified. Instead of relying on a traditional internal combustion engine or massive propellers, Musk's engineers developed a compact electric jet propulsion system powered by Tesla's next-generation battery packs. These batteries, rumored to be based on the 4680 cell technology, provide not only the energy density required for flight, but also the stability to handle the rapid bursts of power needed for vertical takeoff and landing. In simpler terms, this is not a gimmick. This is a serious attempt at reimagining personal mobility. Witnesses described the prototype as surprisingly quiet. Unlike helicopters, which roar through the air, the flying Tesla emitted a low hum, almost like a giant drone. The vertical takeoff system lifted it gracefully, and once airborne, the wings extended for forward motion. Engineers hinted that Tesla's mastery of AI and autopilot systems plays a key role in stabilizing the craft. Flying a car manually might sound exciting, but in reality, it's incredibly complex and dangerous. Musk's team is betting that AI can make the flying Tesla as easy to use as driving an electric car on autopilot. The reactions were immediate and explosive. Supporters called it a revolution, the next logical step in Tesla's mission to accelerate the world toward sustainable energy. Critics questioned its safety, legality, and practicality. Governments scrambled to figure out what this meant for air traffic laws, urban planning, and insurance policies. Aviation experts debated whether this was the dawn of a new industry or just a stunt to grab headlines. But one thing was undeniable: Elon Musk had once again captured the world's imagination. The concept of flying cars isn't new. Over the decades, inventors from Japan to Slovakia have tried to make it work. Small companies have built prototypes, and some even took short flights. But none of them had the resources, scale, and global influence of Tesla. That's the difference. When Musk unveils something, it's not just an experiment. It has the potential to reshape entire industries. Think about the ripple effects. If flying cars become mainstream, what happens to airlines for short-distance travel? What happens to real estate when people are no longer limited by commute times? What happens to entire cities if roads are no longer the only way to move millions of people around? In interviews after the reveal, Musk hinted that this prototype is only the beginning. He admitted that the challenges are immense: regulatory hurdles, battery efficiency, air traffic safety, and infrastructure changes. But he also pointed out that the same was said about electric cars just 15 years ago. Back then, people thought EVs could never compete with gasoline cars in range, affordability, or speed. Today, Tesla has cars that can outpace Ferraris while producing zero emissions. Musk's vision for the flying Tesla is no different. The potential applications extend far beyond personal commuting. Imagine emergency responders flying over traffic jams to reach patients in minutes instead of hours. Imagine freight being delivered directly to rooftops instead of clogging city streets. Imagine entire suburban areas becoming accessible without massive investments in highways. The flying Tesla is not just a car. It's the blueprint for a new kind of city, a new kind of society. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Aviation authorities warn that the skies are already crowded, and adding thousands of flying cars could create chaos without a completely new air traffic management system. Safety experts worry about crashes, malfunctions, and the risk of falling debris. Economists question whether ordinary people will ever be able to afford such technology. And environmentalists ask whether mass adoption of flying cars would truly be sustainable, even if they are electric. Musk, however, has never been one to back down from criticism. He thrives on it. He uses it as fuel to push harder. The prototype demonstration was short, lasting only a few minutes, but it was enough. Enough to plant the idea in the global consciousness that flying cars are no longer science fiction. They are knocking at the door of reality. In the following days, Tesla's stock surged. News outlets across the globe ran the story on their front pages, and debates erupted on podcasts, talk shows, and social media. Some hailed Musk as a modern-day Da Vinci. Others accused him of overhyping another half-finished idea. But love him or hate him, nobody could ignore him. This moment is about more than a car. It's about what it represents. Humanity has always dreamed of flying, from the days of Daedalus and Icarus to the Wright brothers' first flight. Cars gave us freedom on the ground. Airplanes gave us freedom in the skies. A flying car promises to merge the two, giving individuals a kind of mobility that has never existed before. If Tesla can truly deliver on this vision, the world will not be the same. Musk himself seemed calm during the reveal, as if this was just another step on a much longer journey. He reminded people that Tesla's mission is not just to make cars, but to accelerate the advent of sustainable transport and energy. For him, a flying Tesla isn't a toy for the rich. It's a step toward a future where clean, efficient, and intelligent machines free humanity from the limits of geography and infrastructure. Whether you believe in Musk's vision or not, history suggests one thing: never underestimate him. He has already disrupted industries that people thought were untouchable. He has already achieved milestones that experts called impossible. The flying Tesla car may be in its infancy, but so was the electric car once. And if the past is any guide, what looks like science fiction today may very well be your daily commute tomorrow. The world is watching. The critics are sharpening their arguments. Regulators are preparing their questions. But for now, one thing is certain. Elon Musk has done it again. He has shocked the world. Long before Elon Musk revealed his flying Tesla prototype, the dream of flying cars had captured the human imagination. In the 1920s, inventors like Glenn Curtiss experimented with vehicles that could drive on roads and take off like airplanes. Curtiss even unveiled a roadable aircraft called the autoplane, but the technology of the time was nowhere near advanced enough to make it practical. Over the decades, various prototypes appeared: the Aerocar in the 1940s, the Mauler car in the 1990s, and more recently, efforts from companies like Terrafugia and PAL-V. Each of these drew attention, but none ever reached mass production. The reasons were always the same: the technology wasn't ready, the cost was too high, regulations were too complex, and the public wasn't convinced. That's why the Tesla prototype feels different. Musk isn't starting from scratch. He's entering this field with decades of aerospace experience through SpaceX, with world-class battery and AI research through Tesla, and with a reputation for turning science fiction into reality. Unlike earlier inventors, Musk has the infrastructure, the engineers, and the global brand power to make the impossible look inevitable. When people see a Tesla hover above the ground, They don't dismiss it as a crazy stunt. They immediately think, maybe this is the future. Another critical difference is timing. Today's technology is finally catching up to the dream. Electric batteries are more powerful and more compact than ever. Artificial intelligence has advanced to the point where autonomous flight is becoming safer than human-controlled flight. Materials science has produced lighter and stronger composites that make flying vehicles more efficient. And perhaps most importantly, society is ready for disruption. The pressure on urban infrastructure, the urgency of climate change, and the hunger for innovation have created the perfect storm for something as radical as a flying car to enter the conversation. Tesla's flying prototype is rumored to use distributed electric propulsion, multiple small thrusters instead of a single large engine. This design increases safety, because if one motor fails, the others can compensate. It also makes the vehicle quieter, more stable, and more efficient. Pair this with Tesla's experience in autopilot technology, and suddenly you have a machine that doesn't require every driver to become a licensed pilot. That's the key difference. Previous flying car concepts always assumed people would fly them like airplanes, with training and strict certification. Tesla's vision appears to be closer to point and go. You input your destination, and the AI takes care of the rest, just like autopilot in a car, or like hailing a ride from Uber, but through the air. Of course, there are obstacles. One of the biggest is regulation. Airspace is tightly controlled, especially in cities. Governments will need to develop entirely new systems to manage thousands of flying vehicles sharing the sky. This could mean digital air lanes, AI-managed flight paths, or integration with existing aviation systems. Another challenge is infrastructure. Where do flying cars take off and land? Do we build rooftop pads on every building? Do suburbs redesign neighborhoods to include vertical landing zones? These are not small questions, and they won't be solved overnight. Then there's the issue of safety. A car crash on the road is bad enough. A car crash from hundreds of feet in the air could be catastrophic. Tesla will need to develop redundant systems, emergency parachutes, collision avoidance sensors, and fail-safes to convince regulators and the public that these vehicles are trustworthy. The company has already faced criticism for its autopilot accidents on the ground. In the air, the margin for error is even smaller. Yet Musk's team insists that the prototype is being built with safety as the highest priority, with AI capable of reacting faster than any human pilot. Still, the vision is hard to resist. Imagine a morning commute where instead of inching along in traffic, you rise above the roads, glide smoothly across the skyline, and land just minutes from your office. Imagine living far outside a city, in nature or in a quiet town, but still reaching the urban core in a fraction of the time. Flying cars don't just promise convenience. They could reshape where and how we live. Cities might spread out instead of clustering tightly around highways. Rural areas might thrive again, connected by skies instead of freeways. This is not just a new vehicle. It's a new civilization model. Financially, the implications are massive. If Tesla can commercialize this technology, it would open an entirely new industry. Analysts estimate that the flying car market, often referred to as urban air mobility, could reach hundreds of billions of dollars within the next 2 decades. Competitors like Joby Aviation, Lilium, and Archer Aviation are already working on electric vertical takeoff aircraft, mostly focused on air taxis. But none of them have Tesla's consumer reach. Musk has always been about bringing futuristic technology to ordinary people, not just selling it to the wealthy elite. If he can apply Tesla's mass production expertise to flying cars, the industry might shift overnight from niche luxury to mainstream adoption. Naturally, skeptics argue that this is still far away. They point out that Tesla struggles to meet deadlines even with cars on the ground, let alone in the air. They argue that the infrastructure challenges alone could take decades to solve. They note that Musk often overpromises, hyping technologies like the Tesla Semi, the Cybertruck, or the humanoid robot Optimus, which have all been delayed. And yet, even skeptics admit that Musk has a unique ability to move the goalposts of possibility. He may not deliver on time, but he does deliver eventually. There is also the psychological factor. For over a century, people have dreamed of flying cars, but they've also feared them. The skies filled with thousands of untrained pilots is a terrifying thought. That's why AI and automation are so crucial. The flying Tesla won't be about you piloting it like a plane. It will be about trusting the system to carry you safely, just as you trust an elevator in a skyscraper or autopilot on an airplane. Once people see it work, once they experience the smoothness and safety firsthand, acceptance could spread quickly. Looking at the broader picture, this development ties directly into Musk's larger vision. He isn't just building companies, he's building an ecosystem. Tesla cars, SpaceX rockets, Starlink satellites, and now flying Teslas all interconnect. Imagine a future where Starlink provides the global communication needed for thousands of autonomous flying vehicles to navigate safely in real time. Imagine SpaceX sharing aerospace expertise with Tesla engineers to perfect propulsion and aerodynamics. This isn't a single invention. It's part of a grander plan to push humanity into a new era of mobility, both on Earth and beyond it. It's worth remembering that Musk himself often talks about humanity becoming a multiplanetary species. If that's the goal, then rethinking transportation on Earth is just the training ground. If people learn to trust autonomous flying cars here, they might one day trust autonomous flying vehicles on Mars. What sounds outrageous today could be the stepping stone to something even greater tomorrow. The unveiling of Tesla's flying prototype is not just about shocking the world. It's about daring the world to think bigger, faster, and bolder. It forces governments to rethink regulations, forces competitors to accelerate innovation, and forces people to imagine a future where roads are optional, not mandatory. The path forward will be messy, filled with setbacks and challenges, but the direction is now clear. The age of flying cars has finally taken its first serious step, and Elon Musk is once again at the center of it. As history has shown, every great leap forward begins as an impossible dream. The airplane was mocked. The automobile was dismissed as a rich man's toy. Even electricity was once considered dangerous and impractical for homes. And yet, each of these became not only real but essential to modern life. Perhaps decades from now, people will look back at this moment, the day a Tesla first lifted off the ground, and see it as the beginning of another transformation just as profound. For now, the image lingers in the minds of millions. A sleek Tesla car hovering in the air, silently defying gravity, a glimpse of the future that once belonged only to movies. Elon Musk's flying Tesla prototype has done more than shock the world. It has reminded us that the future is not waiting for permission. It is already here, and it is taking flight.